Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now December 1st of 2023, and given that Disney has been going through a lot of trouble recently due to their ongoing box office failures one after the other, and the Disney stock, which by the way has been an up and down roller coaster, mind you, there's a lot else, of course, aside that. We know that the Disney parks are not meeting expectations for the Disney board of directors, including Bob Iger, the CEO, and let's not forget about how they are dealing with the collapse of the Marvel Cinematic Universe over at Marvel Studios, all because of Kevin Feige and Bob Iger's direction. Let's get into all of this. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Bob Iger and Kevin Feige is that these two, I don't care what anyone else says, but these two are absolutely the ones that have pretty much driven Marvel into the ground. I mean, we know that they are the leading cause of why Ant-Man 3 Quantumania did not perform very well. The Marvels, which by the way was a astronomical disaster over at Disney, and it just goes to show you that Bob Iger is pretty much at the point of no return at this time. We do know that he did talk about how he is planning on stepping down in 2026 when his contract is up where it stands right now. And I think that is more or less of him admitting that he has not been a good CEO for the past number of years at this point, moving onwards as well. Now, on top of that, what's even all the more revealing has a lot to do with Rachel Zegler and her overall view of the Marvel's critics, the box office situation, and a whole lot more related to this film. Let's get into all of this. Now, with Rachel Zegler and her acting career currently in shambles, one major development has to do with Rachel Zegler and her stance on the Marvel's box office situation by Disney, as she recently delivered her thoughts on the whole scenario that Disney is going through. Rachel went on to deliver the following. I just feel that fans of that franchise are acting like children, and I know it's not my place to say since I didn't star in this movie, but people need to stop celebrating a film's success and or failure, or one that didn't work out, in this case for Disney at the box office. I think it's just disgusting behavior by fans, by Marvel fans specifically, and as both a Marvel and Star Wars fan myself, I can say I am not surprised that a mob of angry toxic males are going after such a bright and beautiful cast with a well-aimed director, who I hope to work with someday in the future. I can only dream. I'm a huge fan of Brie Larson, and she nails these roles every time. She does an excellent job, especially with this one. So for fans to celebrate her tough times with this film, seriously need to get a life and maybe grow up. These are movies for children and kids, and so I don't know why everyone is so angry and pent up over a film that inspires powerful women on the big screen. I'm all for it, and I fully support Brie and what the director was hoping to achieve. As someone who has dealt with these same loud minority of fans for films that I have worked on, my advice to Brie is to just let it pass, and it will all be forgotten soon. Toxic males can be relentless when it comes to something they are afraid of, and having worked on Snow White, I saw plenty of that happen. I may have my differences with Disney and how they organize things, with their lineup of movies and inconsistencies, but this is no way to treat a movie that comes from the heart by some of the most talented actresses I have seen on the big screen in years. To all the naysayers and someone who has dealt with the loud entitled fans, I can say that The Marvels is a true inspiration and a great product to inspire more female ensemble cast films. Now guys, let me just stop here for one moment. You notice how she's acting like she has been around longer than Brie Larson, as if she is one to give her advice or anything like that. Look, I am not for Rachel or Brie at all, but for Rachel to make it come across like she has been around longer than Brie is a little off and very strange, mind you, but this just goes to show you that this does work hand in hand with how Rachel Zegler had a Star Wars shirt on her Instagram, I believe it was. Somebody out there said that a long time ago here in the comments. It's somewhere apparently on there, but it lines up there. She mentions how she's a Star Wars fan and a Marvel fan, which by the way also mentions, of course, that she looks up to Brie Larson. She looks up to these female ensemble cast films by the MCU, and she's all for it. Now, we know that behind the scenes, we talked about this, by the way, guys, is that she tried to get into more superhero roles. She wanted to get into the MCU, by Disney, and it didn't work out. We talked about this, and they were supposed to get her in Phase 6 somehow, some way, of a specific new character to be introduced. That went sour after her whole Snow White fiasco and everything happening with the comments that she made. But once again, I mean, we've had people hopping on board and voicing their opinions on the Marvels, like She-Hulk actress and, you know, Tatiana, of course. Tatiana voicing her opinion on the whole situation, and others. And it's not going to stop here, because I think a lot of actresses are using the Marvels as a prime example of blaming these non-existent groups, in this case, toxic males, or the toxic male demographic. This is exactly what they like to do. Sometimes when a movie fails, they like to make up a specific group or a demographic that's supposedly destroying its success, and it's really just not happening. Let's be clear. The fact that this movie failed, the main reason why it did not meet expectations, had a lot to do with some agendas that were thrown in there, but a lot of it had to do with the fact that it was just a very poor story. It's something that a lot of Marvel fans were just not asking for, and it just comes across as a very expensive Disney Plus TV show that was meant to be divided up into 3 episodes, maybe 4 max. That's what it comes across like, and the fact that the running time is so short also makes it feel like a devalued product as well, that it should have belonged on Disney Plus in separated episodes. But that's just my viewpoint on things there. But what's interesting about this further, she goes on to conclude, "To all of them I say, deal with it. This is not your movie. We are facing a terrible trend of loud minority of fans that are pressing studios and giving them the wrong impression on why a film succeeds or fails, and it's dangerous for actresses like myself and other actors in this industry that I only hope continues to grow effectively through change, because people need to adapt, and this film, The Marvels, is a serious example of entitled fans rejecting change and encouraging others to make the wrong choices. So Brie, if you hear me, I am on your side. I would give anything to be a superhero, and I think everyone should know it's the greatest honor that you can get as an actress right now." And, you know, the thing is, I find a lot of actors and actresses saying that they believe that becoming a superhero is like the big deal, and yeah, it used to be, I feel. There was a time where getting these superhero roles were pretty much gonna cement you in these multi-movie contract deals, and it would really give you, obviously, a very good income for at least 2 to 5 years consistently, and giving you other opportunities beyond. But nowadays, especially with Disney, and hopefully we'll have to wait and see what happens with the new DC Universe by James Gunn, I'm still not holding out any kind of hope for that. I believe it's not going to meet expectations as we think, but we'll wait and see. I just think that nowadays, if you get a superhero role, especially by Disney, you better watch out for your career. That's how it is right now. So overall, I think that, you know, Rachel is way over her head. She has no idea what she's talking about. She's off many of these different points that she's making. But anyway, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. And I will catch you guys later.